Hi Christine, Mr. Belanger here. Thank you for your email. Let me help you with that quadratic function question. So there's f of x equals minus 1/2 bracket x minus 2 squared plus 1. Okay, so that's in vertex form, and the first part said identify the features, and then it said try to graph it. So the features is that the a value is here, so that's why I wrote a is minus 1/2. And so what I only know two things about that. One, it's pointing down because of the negative, and second, it's what's called a compression. So like when you compress something, it makes it fatter or wider. And so I know the graph gets wider. Okay, so that's the a value. X minus 2 in the brackets is related to the p-value, that's shifting left or right. The p-value is 2, it's always the opposite of what's in here, so I see a minus 2, so it must be plus 2, and then that means the graph would shift 2 to the right. And when I say the graph, it's actually being compared to y equals x squared. That's kind of like the parent or the original graph. So if you have a graphing calculator, chuck that in, but that's just a regular parabola that starts at 0, 0 and just gently opens up. So when we're saying like shifting left and right, opening up and down, it's compared to that one. So if I took the original parabola in the middle at 0, 0, right away I know it points down, it gets wider, it moves over 2, and the q value is a 1, so that would move up 1 to the right. So those are the features. When it comes to graphing this, let's call it an accurate sketch. That's what you're really doing. So I only need a few things to be able to graph a quadratic in vertex form. One is the vertex. The vertex is certainly 2, 1. It's 2 to the right, it's 1 up. So you can see even on my little cheesy sketch here, I could estimate that. I plunked down 2, up 1. Next is, I know it's pointing down, so I drew in the axis of symmetry. See this little dotted line? I always make it dotted. That's my axis of symmetry, so I know it's perfectly symmetrical going downwards. That's where I wrote x equals 2, axis of sim, that was my short form. And then it's too tricky to determine like, how wide do I make this if it's only a half? What I do is I find the y-intercept, because it's very easy to do that. And you were kind of alluding to this. I made x equal to 0. So I went to the original function, put in a 0. It's very easy to calculate. I ended up getting minus 1. So then over here, I plunk that point on my y-axis, minus 1. So as soon as I do that, I have another point for free, because quadratics are always, in parabolas, same thing, are always symmetrical. So there's my axis of symmetry, there's my minus 1, which I know it'll touch, and I went, oh, how far is that distance from here to here? Well, I mean, if that's 2 over, then that's 2 over, so that's 2 units. So then I just went an identical 2 more units this way, which would now put me at 4 to the right, because that was already 2 in the middle, 2 more, and still minus 1 down because it's clearly level. So see that? The vertex is easy to plot. I know it's pointing down. I found the y-intercept without any trouble. I got a mirror image symmetrical point for free. That's enough. That's enough to do a sketch in vertex form. And then obviously it's pointing down. Put some arrows on it. You're done. Okay, so hopefully that is what you needed. If not, just throw me another email. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.